Hello and welcome to another video on how to build a consulting freelancer career. So after I went through all of this model, started building a freelance consulting career, then getting started as a freelance consultant, and ultimately where to look for a place where you can find and land high-paying consulting clients. Okay. Now you reach to this point, which is the how to conduct proper research and gather quality data. So I went through first identifies the source of data, especially when you're conducting a research for a consulting project, where you have is the first party data that come from the company, second party data from trust sources that they have great record or great record of research report, peer review, and the aggregate source, which is the third-party data. Well, if you're making a research for an industry that is new, or you can find reliable sources, well, using this, especially when you create your report, is great and it's essential for that. So then I look at, from a broad perspective, how can I conduct a research? And that is, well, see how others are formulating data, but first, play devil advocate with your research. Meaning is, see things from different perspective, because things are not always black and white. That's one. And then I look at research relevant and gather relevant data from that. So take notes and keep record of every source you obtain. So ultimately, you can is qualify the data and the source of your data, so you can circle back with the client. So then I look at how Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastery structure, provide guidelines, especially when he wants to conduct a research, right? For things like for things like a tourist website. Okay, so based on this marketing, Google, from a marketing perspective, he conducted research, but first look at their websites, understanding what they offer and all their products and service, and then go into the specifics by looking at the category, the pricing, the company's review. So with that, you can then ultimately if you have access to that data from first party data, so data from the company, so see however, you have to find an NDA agreement for that before jumping in. So if you can have access to the data, great. So sign that NDA agreement, so you can see how they have been performing and what they have done in the past, where you can now provide your suggestions much better. If you cannot access, doesn't matter, you move to a competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry, and that is look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing, see what you can learn from them, and from there provide a keyword research. This is what you're gonna put in this keyword research tool online, where you're gonna get all of this information, especially from Google or any other data source. So the whole point of this is to understand what's going on in that industry, and from there Well, uh, now on top of that, you're gonna look at the worst news to get up to date data, and from there, you're gonna ask yourself, so everything that I have researched by looking at that tourist website or the website, and then going to the specific, if I could access to their first party data, great. So I can understand what they have done, see what they're doing, so I can provide my suggestion more with much more accuracy. And once I conduct this competitor analysis to understand who the other players are in that industry, okay, see what they're doing, what I can learn from them, create a keyword research that I'm gonna put in any of these keyword research tools, where I'm gonna have access and more clear perspective of what's going on in that industry. So once you do that, okay, on top of that, you're gonna conduct is a research on the worst news to get up to date data to see where this industry is going and how this industry is adapting to regulations. Because with that, you're gonna ask yourself, so everything that I have researched, what is most likely to work today? Okay, so that's great, because from that point on, then I look at how can I conduct that, especially from the e-commerce, understand the concept of e-commerce as well as the type of e-commerce, or aka business model, the different actors involved, business, governments, and consumers, how they relate each other. So from business to consumers, or business to business, consumer to business, or business to business. That's something that I already mentioned. Uh, so the most widely common use is business to consumers, where you have is online retailers, digital marketplace, ordering food and delivering service, subscription service. Uh, and for the business to business, we have online marketplace. E- yeah, online marketplace. Uh, mhm. So you have online marketplace. So online marketplace. Mhm. Digital marketplace. In the case of business to business, uh, which is part of the business model, is online marketplace, EDI, online portals, business to business payment solutions, wholesale e-commerce, and for the consumer to business, we have freelance work, user generated content, crowdfunding, reverse auctions, online survey. For government to business, we have public procurement portals, tax filing and payment systems, licensing and registration, uh, such as food and service, or yeah, such as food service, yeah, such as food service. Mhm. such as food service, yes, such as food licensing and building permits. Also, uh, international trade and custom clearance, business registration for now government to consumers. We have tax payment portals or utility bills, passport applications and renewal, driving license and vehicle registration, uh, as well as ordering birth and death certificates. And when it comes to the consumers to government, we have online petitions, online donations, payment of fines and fees, uh, license and permits, for example, fishing licensing or hunting permits, that kind of thing. So with all of that, all right, then I look at the other competitors in the e-commerce, okay, whether it's Alibaba, eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and do this keyword research to understand what's going on in that industry, such as the POS, which is the point of sales, website design, website themes, Shopify website themes, Alexa, AliExpress, which is somewhat similar to the UPS, okay, for any of these logistics along the supply chain from the distribution to from the manufacturers to distribution. And with that, I get a sense of what's going on, at least in the e-commerce. And then, especially once you conduct that research, okay, so how are you gonna put that in a visually engaging presentations that let you know your customers or your clients or your sell leads, okay, hey, this is the research that I made with all the statistics and different charts and aesthetics, showing you the meaningful pattern of that. And from there, let's going to see if we can reach to some sort of agreement, okay, that I can provide the value that you're looking for, which is ultimately what the client wants, right? So the way of you can conduct this research is several guidelines or steps, okay? So first is, before creating your report, you must know exactly what you're gonna put in there. So research, you conduct this research, and then uh, yeah, and then uh, okay, so and then uh, put the most relevant data first, okay. So you don't want the client start to forget what the important thing was. So showing them the most impactful data, and from there expand with different aesthetics and charts. So especially if you have recurring clients, it is useful to have some templates and use different charts and aesthetics. So depending on the use case, you will like to use is bar graph when you want to see show change, when you want to display change over time. Okay, so that's one of them. All right, display change over time, uh, as well as how do you put it? As well as, yeah, by showing the change over time, which is bar charts, uh, also to compare different parts of that. So you have bar charts, pie charts when you want to make a comparison part to a whole of discrete or continuous data. So this is useful and more impactful for small data sets. Line graph, when you want to see trends, volatility, acceleration or decelerations. Time series relationship is this kind of graph. Area chart, which now is like a line graph, when you want to see time series relationship, but now with volume, meaning that you can represent these three variables. Also look at scatter plot, which this is useful for see correlation of data. Again, correlation doesn't mean causality, but that's another whole video. For example, you have in the g-axis customer satisfaction and the x-axis time to response. You can see all of this data where is grouped in, where this data grouping together, right? For example, in that kind of graph, well, the more faster the customer service responds and address the customer inquires or solve their complaints, the better off will be, or the more customer satisfaction that company will have. Also, I look at bubble charts, which is a combo mix between the area charts and scatter plot. Here's are great for showing is ranking data or nominal data, so data that doesn't have an inherent order, okay, such as cars, colors, ethnicity, fruit. So for example, you have is time spent on the internet versus age, and on the circle on this bubble chart representing is by genders, right? I also look at the data heat maps, where this are useful for showing categorical data that can be nominal data, something that I mentioned before, and nominal data and ordinal data, so data that has an inherent order. So for example, job seniority, so entry level, junior, mid, senior, C executive. Job salaries, brackets job salaries, from 10,000 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 75k, and so on, okay? And also for health, okay? So poor, fair, good, very good, and excellence, or for product rating, such as 1 to 5 star, okay? And with that, okay, then I also look at the that these heat maps, again, that can represent is this categorical data using intensity of colors for in a geographical maps or in a data table. So for example, when you want to see how in a particular country, okay, here in Argentina, okay, so where are the most companies that export apples? Okay, you can see that with intensity of colors, okay. Then geomaps, when you want to see distributions of data on a map. So for example, the amount of retails that a particular brand has over a city or a county or state, even a country or the world. For example, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Starbucks. Sorry. As well as the waterfall, when you want to see performance over time, in tables, when you want to compare for example, sales representative or where blog views are coming from, as well as the pictograph, which is show statistics with icons. So for example, there is a website called cleanwater.org that show that 1 in 9 persons on earth don't have access to clean water. So they illustrate that with using tiers. Okay, 9 tiers, and only one of them they don't have clean access to clean water. So they show that in a dirty drop, more brownish color. And that is the different aesthetics or charts that you can use with statistics that help you to let the customer or the client or potential leads that you know, and based on the research that you made, this is the possible, this is the solutions that you would like to use or to solve them problems. So that also leads to the do's and don'ts of presentation, especially to show an organized format. Compare that to benchmark and make it easy to read. So with that, okay, then I look at the don'ts, like don't use outdated data, don't lose your data after you present it, okay, as well as the communication tips for consultants. Okay, like break down complex topics, especially for an audience or people that they don't have a background on that research. And if you're going to use any industry jargon, make that easy to follow. So break down these complex topics so your audience can easily digest that. Also, make sure that you understand the goal, okay, and show that you understand the goal, and ultimately is avoid miscommunication. Also, for example, it's important to recognize how is the client habits, whether it is through emails or video call and that kind of things, okay, as well as keep track of every communication you have with your clients. Don't forget to be a team player and send brief updates for that. So with that, okay, then look at the A/B testing for build recurring clients. So A/B testing is made of the A, the original version of your test, the unaltered versions of your test, and B, which is the treatment or the expected optimized version. So you can do as many tests as you want, okay? However, it's important to follow some good practice. For example, do one test at a time. Test one variable. Example, if you want to see the performance of a when you want to see the performance of an element on your landing page, whether it's a text or color, an image, or your email campaign, okay, whether it's the number of paragraph or how short how precise are the key the words are being used in that emails, what is the target audience, so you can with that pinpoint back to what's going on or where in which element made or lead more to conversions or retentions. Okay, great, because with that now I also look at another best practice or A/B testing, like make minor change before doing the test, decide on the insignificance of that, as well as do the test simultaneously and test your audience 50-50 to get more conclusive results. So that's great. So that gives the conclusion of this entire course, the section, or at least the section 4. Okay, then how to conduct a research and gather quality data. So when I look at the section 5 here, where in here we're looking is like, okay, so once you look at the fundamentals or how to get started building a consulting career, that's one of it, and then how to getting started as a business consulting freelancer, where you can find clients, where you can find and land high-paying consulting clients, where ultimately you know is how to conduct a research and gather quality data with all of these different sections. Ultimately, here is the developing your personal brand as a consultant. And this is something very extremely important for you. Okay? Very, very important, because once you develop your personal brand as a freelancer, okay, where you have benefits, the benefit is, well, you have trust and authority that lead to where you are now more open to opportunities that attract people, that allow you to grow your network, so you have more connections and ultimately attract clients where you can charge them more. So this is the benefits of building or develop a personal brand in a particular area, right? Developing a personal brand in a particular area. Exactly. So develop a personal brand in a particular area. Trust and authority. So with these benefits, then look at the ways of how you can develop a personal brand. So first, identify what separates you and embrace what sets you apart. So protect your reputation at all costs. Be authentic to become a thought leader in this case. And that is something that I actually doing right now, okay? Especially this is looking at the benefit of building a personal brand as a consultant, okay? That allows you to, they actually here is selling me the idea, right? What they're doing here is just selling me the idea. So once you establish trust and authority based on your consulting niche, okay? So trust and authority based on your consulting niche, you are open to opportunities that allow you to grow your network, attract clients where you can charge them more, which is this. So top ways to develop your personal brand, okay, is like embrace what sets you apart. Embrace what sets you apart. Protect your reputation at all costs. Be authentic to become a thought leader. And this is now how you can build an online presence in producing content. So this is most likely tips, all right, of how you can do this. So choose 1 to 2 platforms for that, and then focus, extremely focus. So do your research so you can see how others are formulating and how others are creating their contents. And remember that consistency is key. So if the content is king, consistency is queen, my friend. So you can use, for example, also a buffer that allow you to schedule that. And ultimately is how to embrace collaboration. Okay, how to embrace collaboration. So that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.